So, Donald, thank you for joining me. Let me say before we get going here that of all the soon-to-be imprisoned whiny ex-presidents, you are absolutely my favorite. So, again, thank you for joining me today.
Well, thank you. I guess that's a compliment, but I'm not going to prison. This is a sham case. They have no evidence. No one has testified. My attorneys have taken absolutely everyone apart. I'm going to walk. And by the way, if I do lose, it's because the entire jury is a bunch of Democrats who hate me. You know, I was born in New York. I was raised in New York. I live in New York. And everyone hates me. You know, where I'm from, they hate me. And that's terrible. I could have probably gotten a much better trial in Alabama or Kentucky or Georgia, but these left-wing, radical, fascist, communist, socialists that inhabit New York. By the way, New York is like Escape from New York now. It's crime. It's all crime. The entire city's on fire, other than the courthouse and Trump Tower. Other than that, it's a total disaster.
Being from New York, I would expect you to have some thick skin, but it seems as though the evolution, maybe it's just having moved to Florida that's made you a thin-skinned weakling who whines about the temperature in the court. It seems incongruous with with someone raised in New York City.
Well, let me just say this about the courtroom. The courtroom is freezing, Jesse. It's freezing. It's what do they call that? Cruel and unusual punishment. It's so cold I can barely sleep. And they've got meat hanging from the ceilings. They've got people in parkas and gloves and scarves, and I have to sit there just freezing. I mean, these people don't know. They're so stupid. They're such morons. They don't know how to fix a thermostat and make the room normal again. So I think that's the problem. The chair is horribly uncomfortable. It's made out of wood. No padding on it. So I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to psych me out. You know, this is like a psychological thing with the judge Marsham. The whole thing's a sham. So they're just treating me very badly. And now there's rumors about me having gas, which is a total lie. That's not me. That's the bailiff, this big Italian guy, big guy, strong guy, tears in his eyes. Unfortunately, gas in his ass because it smells like pepperoni and salami and gabagool with provolone all mixed together in a diaper. It's not me. That's not my brand.
There have been reports about laughter erupting in the courtroom while your lawyer read texts or excuse me, tweets from Michael Cohen calling you von Schitzenpants.
Right.
What words did you have for your lawyer? Why would he read that in open court?
That's what I said.
Laughter.
Jesse, this is what I said. This is why I think I'm going to, because he's horrible. Why would he read this? Why would he read these horrible things that make no sense, that make absolutely no sense? I think he's out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire him and then get a mistrial. I'm going to get a mistrial because he's so terrible. He's so terrible.
Well, I'm actually very curious about the physical sensation of being gagged. You constantly are running your mouth about being gagged by the judge. I had no idea that you had such an affinity for being gagged by other men.
Well, let me tell you something. That's a disgusting image you just put out there. I mean, by the way, you know this, you're a military guy. It's illegal. It's illegal for one man to gag another man. The only other time I've seen this was in that Quentin Tarantino film with what's his name and the other guy, Bruce Willis, which was disgusting. But I don't understand why I'm being gagged because I'm the president and I'm still the president and I was never not the president. But now we've got a situation where I'm leading in the polls. And you got Sleepy Joe. Oh, come on, man. What's going on? Oh, Cracker Jack. He's walking around in circles like he was at the correspondence dinner, and I'm not allowed to say what I want to say when people like Michael Cohen say that horrible name, and I can't defend myself. And this is what's wrong with this country, and this is why on day one I have to be a dictator, Jesse. I have to be.
Well, do you foresee yourself testifying in your own defense, as is your constitutional right under the Fifth Amendment? Or
I'm getting hand signals from my attorney. Go ahead with your question. What do you
or
do?
do you think
What is this? What
you'll
is this?
bow out? Do you think you'll bow out of testifying, kind of like you're bowing out of consciousness while you sleep in court?
Well, that's two things. Number one, I don't sleep in court. Okay, I close my baby blues and I meditate. I meditate. It's called transcontinental meditation. And
Mm.
what I'm doing is I'm thinking of all my grievances and all of my complaints and all of the people I'm going to jail. That's what you do when you meditate. So I'm sitting there meditating. And by the way, no one gets to nirvana faster than me. I get to nirvana so fast. It is unbelievable. I'm smoking by all the other meditators, number one. And then what was the other part of it? What was the other part of it?
Well, you actually sparked another question for me. Getting to nirvana that quickly, we are waiting for the testimony of Stormy Daniels, who certainly knows how quickly you get to nirvana. What do you expect from her testimony, Mr.
I expect a lot of
President?
lies. I expect a lot of lies. I expect a lot of lies. She's going to say some very mean and nasty things, I highly doubt if anything's going to come up about my my hand size, if you know what I'm talking about, my Trump Tower. But if it does, please bear in mind that she's been with what, 8, 9, 10 guys at the same time, and she's been with Mandingo, which really isn't a fair comparison, if you know what I'm talking about. By the way, no complaints. By the way, if you know, no complaints of the women I've been with.
How are you spending your days these days when you're between court and your goofy campaign rallies that sometimes you call in and cancel and sometimes you don't?
That
How
was
are
weather.
you spending your time?
Jesse, excuse me. That was weather. That was weather. That wasn't me. That was air traffic control, who, by the way, hate me. They all hate me at air traffic control. Did you know this? They're all against me. National Archives hates me. Air traffic control hates me. Everyone hates me because I'm trying to make America great again. America mega gaga is what we're doing now. But no one wants it on the left. No one wants mega gaga. They want sleepy Joe Biden and this horrible economy and this terrible stock market and all of these corporations that aren't making any money.
Well, let me ask you this. It seems, and I don't have a great deal of concern for your physical well-being, but you don't look well. And it looks like you could use a couple more servings of vegetables and maybe staying away from the cocaine, the Diet Coke as much.
The Diet Coke. I have it right here behind me. I always have it close by. But I feel great.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. People under stress like this would just fold. They would just fold. But I don't care. I'm not changing my diet. I'm going to eat burgers and steaks and French fries and pizza because I'm indestructible. This is why have you seen some of the artwork that they do about me? I'm all ripped with my muscles on top of a tank and a big Trump flag. Isn't that wonderful?
I have
Isn't
seen
that
those.
wonderful? You have seen that. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, I got this for you from Lee Greenwood. It's the it's our Bible. It's our, I want to hold it. Is it the right way? Do I have it? Is it this way? How do you hold a Bible? How do you hold
with your hands?
Like this? All right. So this is our Bible for you. Oh, it's upside down. It's the Holy Bible from God Bless the USA. This is the USA Bible. I got this for you. Lee Greenwood signed it. I signed it. And after you read this, you'll probably come over to my side once you read this. It's a great book. You probably
that does
never
lead
read it.
me to a question that I'm dying to ask about your Christianity and your deeply held religious beliefs.
Very deep. Very.
Would you give me some remark about your ally in politics, Kristi Noem, apparently murdering a creation of God, murdering her puppy in a gravel pit because it did what it was genetically trained to do and go after birds?
Well, a lot of people don't know this, but that was an Antifa plant. That dog Cricket was an Antifa dog. A lot of people don't know that. She was noticing communistic, socialistic, fascistic tendencies in that dog. The dog didn't want to work for its food. It just wanted free food. It wanted free lodging. It didn't really want to do much of anything other than be a dog. And I think we all know that's illegal. That's very undogly. It's very undogly. And she's a great shot. So it's probably very painless when she blew the head off of that dog. You know what I mean? You can't have dogs that aren't obedient. You can't have
Sure,
dogs that aren't
of
obedient.
course.
And listen, she's trained a lot of dogs. And she also told me she killed 3 horses the following week. So really, if you take a dog and then 3 full size, it's really nothing in the whole lineup of animals. And she killed a goat. So you have a dog, a goat, and then 3 horses. So really, the dog was nothing compared to the goat and the 3 horses.
You mentioned the dog wanting free room and board and not really working or doing anything for that
Yes.
free food. Your son Barron is graduating high school. It seems like you would be eager to get him out on his own so he'll stop mooching off of the Trump family in Mar-a-Lago. Are you going to be attending his graduation? It seems you've kind of
Well,
backed yourself into that corner, no?
well, again, cruel and unusual punishment. I didn't go to Don Jr.'s graduation. I certainly didn't go to Eric's. I didn't go to Tiffany's. I'm pretty sure she's my daughter. And I didn't go to Ivanka, who I actually like. So why would I go to Barron's? And by the way, this is going to be a hardship on his high school. I don't know the name of it, but now they're going to have security for me with my Secret Service. We're gonna have to come in, 2 days early, and it's a shame. And I think, being a good father, I'm probably gonna see if I can get out of going to his graduation. Not that I don't want to be there, and not that I don't want to see Melania. I think seeing Melania would be incredible, but I think the bigger issue is well, frankly, it's boring. It's boring. I want to see Barron, but I don't want to see all these other people's children that I don't know and don't care about. You understand that,
Yeah, you
right?
don't want to risk falling asleep at a high school graduation for your youngest son. I get it. I get it.
Especially when you're outside. Do you know what I mean? It's hot.
Sure.
I'm going to look glazed, and then people are going to say I look terrible, but I should really be out on the golf course on a day like that.
Well, listen, final question, since my time is far more pressing and important than yours.
Right, exactly.
I was watching you on a live stream on YouTube on comedian John D. Domenico's channel,
Right,
and
that
you
guy.
were
Right,
answering a question about possibly getting your face on Mount Rushmore.
right.
Tell me more about those developments.
Well, as you know, since I became president, people have been begging me, and talking to the Parks and Rec Department of the United States, and they want my face. And we did a July 4th there. They want my face on Mount Rushmore. And obviously, we've got Teddy Roosevelt. He was a Rough Rider, because you were talking about men gagging men before. And then we have George Washington, the founding
Hmm.
father of our father, with the wooden teeth and the hatchet. We've got Lincoln, who freed the slaves, the greatest president in the history of president, but his wife, not very attractive. But then we have Andrew Jackson, right? Isn't he the fourth one? Is he the
Thomas
fourth?
Jefferson. I wouldn't
No.
expect you to know that, but it's Thomas
Okay,
Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson, but actually, what did he really do? He was more like an extra in the painting. So we think we're going to cover Thomas Jefferson's face, and then we're going to have to build out the whole rock formation for my hair. So it'll have to be like a little different, because they wore wigs, because all those guys went both ways. He wore a wig, and so we can easily get rid of him, and then put my face over his face, like a what do they call that? Like a plastic surgery, a facelift. We'll give Jefferson a facelift and a hair lift. We'll do a transplant, and then that'll be me, and I think that'll be fantastic.
Hmm. Well, we're breaking news here, Donald Trump.
Oh, we are.
We're
We're
breaking
always
news.
breaking news, and we have more products. By the way, we've got the sneakers, we've got the Bibles, because we've got our little farting Trump dolls now. These are very popular. You got to get your hands on these. We have a lot of great products coming out to help the Kids Fund, and my campaign too.
Well, I'm gonna let you go before you storm out on me like you did the last time we talked.
No,
Uh,
you upset me. You upset me. In fact, I've been agitated this entire time, and you're talking about my weight. And look at you. You look like a cherub. I mean, if you were naked with a diaper on and an arrow, I think you'd be in a painting. If you know what I'm talking about.
well, you above all people do know a lot about wearing diapers, so I'll take
Oh,
you at your word. And thank you very much for joining me
I'm
today.
never doing this again. I'm never
Soon
doing
to
this
be
again. You turned around what I
incarcerated
said to you. That's not nice.
ex-president.
Not nice.
Cut his mic. Cut his mic.
No, no, keep it on. Keep it on. Keep it on.
Yeah.
I'm just going to talk and talk and talk. This guy, unbelievable. You know what I mean? I do him a favor.
All right.
I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here. Let's get lunch, everybody. Let's get lunch.
And he wanders off. Fantastic. All right.